Riggedy roll. Let's rock and roll, boys. It is game number 1 of a series between Aftermath and Tyrant, and it will be the Viper, Tatoh, and Jordan taking on Hart, Nicov, and MBL. The Viper just finished up his MOA 5 game, so we know he's somewhat warmed up, I would suppose. And he will be in the yellow trunks. Viper playing as the Berbers. He will be in the pocket. Pocket Berbers seems decent to me. Seems awfully good to me. On the flank will be Indians for Jordan. Must be a pick civ game because those are nasty civs. But Tatoh will take the Slavs on the corner, so maybe it is kind of truly a random game. But we will see the Tyrant team on the right side of the map with their newest member, Tatoh, here. We'll see what Mr. Tatoh can do along with his Tyrant teammates. Tatoh will be across from Nicov. Nicov is the newest member of Aftermath. So, yeah, if you want a storyline there, you have the newest member of the 2 best clans in the game, allegedly. That's at least my opinion. Squaring off on one flank against each other. And as we said before, it will be Slavs for the red player, and it will be Malay for Nicov. So, pretty nice advantage for Nicov having Malay there. We do see a couple of goats and a couple of zebra, if you're Zach, and a rhinoceros. I don't know how the English say that. They probably put in some weird sounds, though. They will be non-standard looking resources, but it is not so crazy of a map. It looks a whole lot like Arabia. It's BOA kind Arabia. So there you go. Britons in the pocket for the Aftermath team. I don't love a Britons pocket, but, you know, who cares what I love? MBL will have Turks on the top side of the map. So I would say that the Tyrant team has a nice civ advantage for their pocket and for this flank. The one flank that I think Aftermath has as an advantage is Nikov's flank. That will be, again, Malay, the fastest civ, one of the fastest civs in the game, taking on the Slavs. It's gross. It's gross to even say Slavs. It brings back so many bad memories. Let's see. Killer Bee, could you just activate the listen to this device on your microphone? I don't know. I probably could. You're saying so I would hear my own voice through the headset. It's not a bad idea. I wonder if that would be weird. Hearing your own voice while you're talking. I'll check it out, Scarface. The weird thing is, for some reason, I downspeed different for each channel. It's different for people who have partnership. So if you go to a partner channel, it will have the downspeed. For affiliates like myself, it seems to be a little less. I don't know. It used to be there, but it keeps going away for me. Anyway, Rhino's starting to get pulled in. 3 vills on wood for Jordan as the Indians. Why not? Why not pull in a rhinoceros? They make a whole lot of noise, huh? We will see 3 vills on wood for him. 3 vills on wood for the red player. Oh my god, they make so much noise. Can the rhinoceros sounds be tuned down a little bit? Jesus Louises. Viper has the Berbers playing in the pocket. One would think you can get away with a fast castle, and one would think the Britons player can get away with a fast castle as well. So 4 on wood for both pocket players makes a lot of sense. 3 vills out on the wood line for MBL, who's looming up early, and it looks like MBL just got housed. Yeah, MBL having to pull a couple vills off the wood line to power build a house, getting loom early. It's not like the end of the world, but that will certainly slow down his early game eco if he was trying to do anything really fast and furious, like, I don't know, 19 vills and up into scouts. He might have a little trouble doing it after that little maneuver. We also have an elephant. What the hell is going on? We got elephants and rhinoceros? Where are we in the world that all these animals would be in the same place? WTF. We're at the zoo. This game is being played on the zoo map. The fruit bush are out. I don't know. The world is all upside down, man. Let's note that Nicov, though he has a nice civ advantage, does have a couple resource piles out on the front of his map and a pretty open front area. Actually, a very open front area. So it could be a little tricky for him to take anything out there on the front. He does have an extra gold in the back pocket, which I feel like he's going to need. My sense is that he's not going to be able to protect this area too easily. But we'll see. He does have the faster civ, so he may be able to get out and do some damage. Slav player is luring in his elephant, and it is making way more noise than what I really want out of it. Not the greatest wood line for Tatoh at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on him. Jordan is going up to feudal age on 19 vils, so as Indians, that makes a lot of sense. 19 vils up with a farm, scouts, why not? Get a little pressure down on his opponent. MBL with 1 lumber camp right now with 6 vils, does have a farm down. Not exactly sure what this build is going to turn in for MBL. 2 for MBL. He's on 20 vils at the moment, and he's still not clicking up just yet. Has 1 more villager queuing, and then maybe we will see him match his opponent with some scouts as well. Mr. Dupe, hello, Mr. Dupe. Aren't elephants and rhinos found in Africa? Hey, Aport. Indeed they are, but do they cohabitate with zebra and goats? I guess it doesn't matter. I don't think sheep and boar really ever live together out in the wild, so why am I being so picky about this? I just hate that there's 4 different sounds now. Oh, and we have lions too. Why not, boys and girls? We'll see a little bit of walling coming down for Jordan. As we said, he's going to be the first one up as Indians. Tatoh did click up at a decent moment with 21 vils. A couple seconds of idle time, but he is going to be on the path with a couple of wood lines on this, or a couple of lumber camps on this same wood line. Tato's got resources out in front of his base, but one would think in the long run he might be able to block in the front flank. Nicov is going to go with an archery range right away as the Malay, and he will come out to this gold pile on the side. So it's going to be paramount for him to keep that safe. He spent a lot of resources getting that going. So keep an eye on the teal player here, who is up to the feudal age. No big surprise with that Malay bonus. Double ranges are down. Villagers moving over to the gold pile. And this should be Nikov's flank to try to push his team's weight. Try to push his team's boat, to try to float his team's weight. I don't know what I'm saying. This should be the side of the map that Aftermath will have an advantage early game. However, when the Viper hits Castle Age, he should come here immediately. But there is a little bit of an interesting moment. We've got a couple villagers from Hart coming across the map. Hart is up to the feudal age already, so Viper might have an idea of what's going on. 20 vils and up for the green player. That might kind of tip your senses off a little bit. Why is the pocket up on 20 pop feudal? Viper will go up on 25, and for now, we'll see that green player coming forward to maybe do a little towering. Towering on the front of Viper's base could take away the berries and that wood line. Getting to this back corner seems like a real task, but taking that front side away and maybe idling some farms could be a strong possibility here for the green player Hart. Hart at the moment is headed right up the gut. He does not actually know about Viper's gold piles. Double archery ranges on the front, and it will be an old-fashioned forward. Score overlay would be nice. Well, we don't have a score yet. This is the first game of the day for these guys. For now, it is 0-0. I think we will see Leary into the next game. Leary was waiting in the wings before this one. Jordan's scouts are on the way over, so Mr. Jordan, getting a little aggressive early with some Indian scouts, is going to come over and deal with this, and oh, this is not looking good at all. Viper's scout is here already. Jordan's scouts are on the way over, and the green player, ooh, Hart needs to do some quick walling. Come on, buddy. Hart will get one of those villagers safe enough to build up that range, but he will lose his other vill right away. And that second range on 93% for the moment is denied, but he can delete one palisade and get in to finish this range if he wants to as well. But Hart will not have any moments of surprise. Yeah, nice, clever little bit of walling there for him. Hart not having the element of surprise on his side. In the meantime, Jordan almost able to quick wall this out, but he's going to let it all in. Scouts rolling into his base from the purple player MBL. Oh, sweet Jesus, that hurts to watch. He was one house foundation away from walling that area out. It will be a couple of skirms and a couple of archers for the green player coming forward. Viper is going to know it's coming. Archery range coming for the Viper. Castle Age coming for him as well. So Jordan turns his scouts around to go home to deal with this raiding. Already lost one vill and should be able to protect the others for now. In the meantime, the teal player, Nicov, is going into archers, has +1 damage, is roaming around kind of nefariously looking to do some damage to Tatoh. Tatoh with skirms ready, not quite in the position to stop this army yet from Nicov, but they will at least hold that front gold area. I think this game is going to hinge, of course, on the forward. Whenever you forward with now 3 vills, and oh my god, this vill is going to get Not woo-woo-wooed, but lied. No, she's going to make it just barely. That lion is going to get her down to 2 HP. Sweet Jesus. She tangled with a lion with the help of, I don't know, her boyfriend, and they somehow made it through. But I don't know, man. The Gaia is not on the side of Heart at the moment, and it's not a secret sneaky forward at all. Viper should be able to, well, already up to the Castle Age, should be able to deal with this, but we'll see. Berbers player dropping down a second TC, keeping things rolling. Green player seems to want to head toward Jordan's base. Jordan had a pretty nice scout advantage number, and he still holds quite a few scouts, but he is transitioning to archers. 2 ranges down and a blacksmith for Jordan. When you forward from the pocket, often you either win or lose the game for your team. It's just such a big investment. Oh my God, is this villager going to go down to a lion? What is up with the lions today, man? They are going gladiator on people. Check health on Heart's forward vills. Not sure if they... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were looking at those. Those vills are really, really weak. Viper's going to get some Jennies out right away. He will also have some knights with bloodlines in. And the Viper will keep things afloat with 1 stable, 1 range, heading over to Jordan to help out. Jordan has lost a couple of vills on this wood line. Viper's here now to kind of bail him out, but he was 2v1 there for quite some time. Heart clicking wheelbarrow, MBL clicking Castle Age, so it looks like MBL will be the first player up on his team. And we'll see how this goes down. MBL doing some defensive towering. Turks player might be thinking about a castle, does have quite a few vills out on stone. But it will be the Viper, I think, with a few moments of knight production to get in and maybe do some damage, maybe do some raiding, or maybe just go over and help his teammate out. Tatoh here is not going to have an easy time versus forward vills now dropping down towers. Skirmishers are out, but not really in the numbers that Tatoh would need. +1/+1 is in for him, but +1/+1 for Nicov as well. Makes things a little uncomfortable. So the Viper is needed on this side. And we kind of expected this from the beginning, that the Viper would need to bolster this flank. Slavs versus Malay is not really an easy one to win, especially in the early game with the speed of Malay. And not surprisingly, Nicov is knocking on the front door of Tatoh's base. Tatoh's got some stone on the back that he can take to try to keep his economy rolling, but I don't see any nearby gold piles. So he needs some help. You got to get by with a little help from your friends. Viper will have a couple Jennies, a couple of knights, and he will see if he can get in here and grab a Vill. But I don't think he can engage that group just yet. Ravel, quote of the day, you either win or lose the game. Well, if you want to finish the quote, though, I mean, by going forward in the middle of the map, you decide the game as the green player. This forward so far has not really found too much ground, but Jordan did get hit. It didn't do nothing. Jordan did fall a little bit behind. Indian's player is just now clicking to castle, and he's still under a little bit of pressure. Hearts forward still doing some annoyance, but Feudal Age is the name of the game for Heart. MBL kind of playing a bit like a pocket. He did go into Feudal Aggression, but he is now into the Castle Age, going scale barding armor and trying to add in a little bit of cavalry. Jordan's army is here on the front, a couple of spears, couple of archers. He can deal with those first few knights coming out. But maybe the story worth keeping an eye on right now is that the Viper and Tatoh are engaging as a team, and they are going to clean up these archers and these towers, I would think, for cheap. Nice blocking from Tatoh to move out in front of that group. And that entire group of feudal archers that Nicov did spend quite a lot of money on is now dead. His tower is going to go down, and I do believe his villagers are going to go down as well. So Nicov being very aggressive, but the Viper is here in time. Tatoh buying just enough time to make it worthwhile, or rather to keep himself going. Green player still does have archers roaming around. He's still trying to find a way to do some damage to somebody. Jordan has been quite annoyed. You can see he's got villagers just standing out in the middle of no man's land. He needs another lumber camp, and he's trying to long distance chop wood so that he can get enough wood to go up. But while Jordan takes damage, the Viper and Tatoh make damage, and they're going to take down this tower. And I believe there's a couple of vills here for Nicov. What's the number? The number is 4. So Nicov has 4 villagers forward here that are going to die. Castle Age coming for Nicov. Castle Age coming for Heart. Castle Age just hit for Tatoh. Tatoh is still on 1 range, but he added in a stable as well. And we'll see the teal player lose 5 vills. Look at him. He's trying to... What is happening here? Okay. Can you do that? What was that move? I think Nicov just ran in and deleted this farm. Is that true? Once you take a food from a farm, it becomes yours and you can delete it? Is that true? Because we saw 2 farms just disappear from the map. I have not seen that maneuver before, ever. Wow, that was really interesting. I did not know that was the case, but it looked like it, right? As soon as those villagers dropped their hoes, the farms were deleted. Holy cow. Okay, well, first time for me to learn that particular maneuver. Viper now cleaning up the forward from Hart. Hart's trying to go crossbowman and Boncanero, but those forward ranges are already under pressure by several knights, so Hart's going to have a whole lot of trouble keeping those alive. And we talked early on about you can win or lose the game as a pocket coming forward like this, and Hart does not seem like he's going to win the game for his team here. Hard to say for sure, but the Tyrant team coming out to a 300-point advantage. Jordan has had the pressure alleviated off of him. Indians player is in the Castle Age, and if Indians can do anything, they can reboom, so he should be able to get back into the game. The Viper is going to knock down this whole front area from Hart, and those crossbows are not going to get a whole lot done. MBL's building a castle. The Turks player may be thinking about some Jannies, trying to protect himself, trying to boom up. Siege Workshop in defense to try to deal with Jordan. But Jordan and MBL on that side is interesting, but I think maybe the more interesting side will be over here as Nicov transitions to battle elephants. Did lose a big group of, well, a couple villagers, several villagers, and a big group of archers there already. Viper has turned around to deal with this forward, but soon enough, I would think he will move out and start to try to deal with putting down some damage on someone else. A couple more Jannies out. We do see, or Genitors rather. I don't know if that lion killed one, but that would be awesome. I did it once going forward, and I deleted 3 of my opponent's farm. Definitely a thing. They work like monks. I never thought about doing it, though. That's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, you can take over a farm, right? And once you take some food from it, it should be your farm. So, very interesting. One also wonders if Tatoh didn't garrison his vills and kept taking food from the farms. I would doubt that Nicov could take them over and delete them. I would think that would be the case. Up on top of the hill, we've got Nicov with some elephants and with a mango trying to put down some damage. This TC is important to hold the front of that area, but it is awkwardly placed. You can really launch attacks from the top of this hill all day. More mangonels on the way from the teal player. Tato's got a big army forward. It is all elite skirmishers. They would not do so well against those mangoes anyway. And they're going to get in now on Nicov and do some damage. This many elite skirms with +2 damage in, they can take down some villagers if they hit them with the javelins. So this will potentially be some good raiding. This TC will be done somewhat soon, and 1 elephant will tank a ton of the damage from skirms. But at least Tatoh is forward on that side. Nicov is getting in good damage, getting in good licks, does have quite a few monks here, so keep that in mind. Viper running in there with knights is probably not going to have the happiest of times. More stables coming for the yellow player. Leather archer armor is on the way as well. Viper's taking stone really aggressively, and he will get a castle down somewhat soon, and presumably get some camel archers out on the map. Tyrant team is up by 400 points. Jordan and MBL look to be not really engaging one another. Again, the hot part of the map switches, and it seems to be Nikov's push onto Tatoh. Tatoh trying to repair that TC and keep things afloat, but a couple elephants into this area could be a problem very shortly. Nicov is really pushing hard on the elephants. Viper will go chain barding and he will go Imperial, and the onus is upon Tatoh to basically survive for the next couple of minutes. That's an insane tactic. Imagine pushing villagers off of those farms, not close to a TC. 1 villager could kill like 10 farms. Yeah, absolutely. Tato's going to try to defend this with a castle right in the middle of his eco. This TC needs to stand a little bit longer. That castle is going to have a lot of dead villagers around it. 1 converted mango and maybe a converted elephant for Tatoh here in a moment. We'll see. Castle is on about 75%. The red player is really under a lot of pressure. He's going to lose a lot here, but he has to finish the castle. You cannot retreat from this, and he will get it up in the end. And he'll get those mangoes for pretty cheap before they can retreat, I would think. Really should be shooting those mangonels to grab the expensive, not so arrow resistant units. Elephants tanking a lot of arrow fire and running into the economy here. So Tato's got his hands full. That doesn't really surprise us now, does it? He's going to be able to deal very well with hearts, crossbows, but not so well with mangonels or elephants. Viper has been a little bit quiet on the production front, but he is adding in more stables and more camels. Imperial Age is on the way, and the Viper will soon out-tech his opponents. Blue player is adding a few camels of his own from one stable. Does have a good number of archers or archery ranges, but just 14 total military for Jordan. Turks player MBL has gone into Janny production, and those Jannies will be backed up by some mangoes. So the Aftermath team wants to make hay here in the Castle Age, while the Tyrants, one out of the three of them anyway, working up to Imperial Age and just kind of waiting, just kind of trying to buy time. Get some castles down, defend your area, and hope for Imperial Age and hope for better quality units to take your opponent down. Those Jannies in decent numbers from MBL, but they could get caught in an awkward position inside of the Viper's base. Viper could pop a mango out. It doesn't look like he's going to. Heavy Camel isolating this group. It should not be that bad of an exchange for the Viper. Jordan will come in first, and he will have camels behind him. And I think they'll get a fine engagement on this. Iron casting coming for the Viper as well. Heavy Camel takes forever, so that won't be done in time. Some nice quick walling from the Viper with a couple barracks. And MBL's going to get in a decent amount of damage. Jordan can definitely back this up, though, and they can clean that up pretty easily. Elefanten, if you're Swedish, for the teal player Nicov are moving north to hit the Viper. There were a couple of elephants inside of the base of Tatoh. Tatoh had real damage done to him, having to go scale mail armor and pikemen to deal with all of this. In the meantime, Nicov is gone to push on the other side. So the Viper's going to have heavy camels. I don't think he's afraid of 6 elephants, but he will have to deal with that shortly. Heavy camel upgrades still coming. Plate barding armor still coming. MBL is here on the front with an army that is not big enough to get the job done, so I don't think they're going to last the winter. Jordan is stonewalling. He's been a little quiet militarily for a moment because he's clicked up to the Imperial Age. We will see more stables coming from the J-Man as we speak. So camels for the Viper, at least for the moment. Camel archers right behind them. Heavy camel upgrade is in. The elite camel archer is not in. In any case, they should easily clean up MBL. MBL's trying to get out of dodge and hide, but he's going to lose these 2 mangoes for free. And it's really turning into that game that we thought it might turn into, where Nicov has had a couple of really impressive moments pushing in on Tatoh, but Tatoh is held, and now he's going to get on the offensive and start pushing back at Mr. Nicov. Nikov's on the way to Imp. Is he going to try to spam Karambit to get out of this? Probably not. He's spent a ton of resource on elephants. There's another stable on the way. So it does seem to be sustained elephant production. Killer B, you worked on your Swedish. Yeah, we got 1 Swedish word, baby. That Swedish just gave me a cardiac arrest. What's up, Europe? Good to see you. Now I'm wondering if you pronounce the abbreviation for genitors and Jannies. Yeah, Jannies and Jennies. I know. You don't see genitors as much. Well, yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you do. Anyway, Barracks coming down from Tatoh. He's going to have kind of the old-fashioned grind you out with siege and trash push by the looks of it. Imperial Age coming for Mr. Tatito. Viper's taking over the middle of the map. He has a couple castles down, 3rd castle on the way. Camel archers coming out like a madman. Conscription coming. And this is where the Berbers become almost insurmountably difficult to come back against. Taking over map control with castles and pushing forward. The Viper's in a wonderful spot. MBL is still adding in more Janissaries. Janissaries. And he'll have a moment in the sun. That's a really good unit while your opponent is transitioning to Imperial units. But we will see more heavy camels, defense upgrades presumably from Jordan. Maybe a little siege to deal with this. I think Jordan is probably not uber threatened by that group at the moment. I think the Tyrant team is in a good spot. The scores would say it is a 1,100 point score lead, so they are really getting into a good zone. Viper's got a really mean and nasty number of camels and camel archers. Tatoh is still going with that Trash and Siege build-up. It's going to take him a little longer. He's not in the Imperial Age yet. But the Tyrant team is getting down markets like crazy on one side. They will certainly get their trade up and running very, very quickly. In the meantime, Jordan is hanging out with camels inside of what would be the trade for Aftermath, but there is no trade. Jordan is that far ahead of Aftermath that he's raiding the trade that doesn't even exist yet. Jordan is back, man. Jordan is looking phenomenal the other night in some 1v1s versus Valise. Looked really, really good to me. There was just a little bit of swagger in his gameplay, which makes me think he's getting really comfortable. Good to see the swagger of Mr. Jordan 23. But this game isn't over. MBL is here with Heart. They're going to use Arbalest and Jans and Trebs to try to climb this hill. Jordan, once again, is 2v1 on this side. He's kind of been holding 2v1 at a couple different moments in the game. Vipers, Camels, and Camel Archers are, once again, inside of what would be the trade economy of the Aftermath team, but they're actually going to get in and raid the absolute bejesus, I would suppose, out of Nicov space. So Tatoh will push from one side and the Viper will raid from another. One wonders if Nicov needs to be beat up this badly. He's already going to have his hands full on the front side. But Hart is here with a pretty big army of Arbs, and the Viper is going to probably decimate that eco now. Viper should be able to take this eco out. I don't think he can kill TCs necessarily with heavy camels, but I guess he can. Why not? Slowly but surely, the Viper will pull that TC down and grab all the juicy villagers inside. It's like smashing open a gumball machine. Slow job for camels, but it does eventually get the job done. Viper is going hoardings, going chemistry, still beefing up his elite camel archers, and he's going to hurt Nicov quite badly. In the meantime, MBL and his teammate Hart, well, they need to get something done against Jordan. If you're getting pushed that intensely on one side, I mean, Nicov is literally getting sandwiched. He's got Viper on one side of him. He's got Tatoh on the other. They're trying to push in from both sides at the same time. If that's happening to one flank, the other flank has to be doing something positive, or else it's GG. And that flank for MBL and Hart, it's going okay. It's going well. Jordan at the moment has 13 military. Probably a couple of camels, a couple of crossbows as well. So really not the most striking military from Jordan. I hate the guy who has to explain this game to Leary when he wakes up. Swedish is a horrible, hilarious language. It has a lot of potential. I think it does. I don't think it's a horrible language. I like it. I just have so little time to learn it. I really should get that done. Jordan's castle on top of this hill is not going to last forever. There's a cannon here. There's a couple of Trebs. It's getting pecked away at. MBL is waiting in the wings with Jannies. Jordan's trying to add in elite skirms as fast as he can. Conscription's on the way. But he's getting pushed in a pretty serious way. Viper, in the meantime, has been raiding the hell out of Nicov. Nicov on 97 Vils still, but he's already lost the TC. But you know what? The Viper's going to get cornered here. Viper's actually just trying to get out of this economy now as the Karambit numbers are starting to increase. Elite Karambit is in. Elite Longbowman is in. Viper needs this house to be dead now, and look at that for timing. Viper can now run out of this area just in time. He is going to take damage on his way out, but not nearly as much damage as he would have taken if he stayed inside the walls. So the Karambit spam might be one way to get out of trouble on that flank. Viper was over here to try to decimate Nicov, but Nicov is on 96 Vils still. He'd lost a TC, he's got a lot of idols, he lost a lot of Vils. But, 96 Vils, you can keep up some Karambit production for a little while. And that's what Nicov is going to do. He's going to be bolstered by elite Longbowmen behind this. There are Arbalest as well for the Britons player in the pocket. And suddenly, the Aftermath team seems to be coming on quite strong. Looking at the gold in the bank, Nicov is floating 1k gold. Everybody else is a little lower. Hart does have a bit of gold. Here comes Tatoh. He's been quiet, building up those siege rams and also building up heavy scorpions. Tatoh on the way to Onager. He's Slavs. He might as well go balls deep into siege. And those camel archers that did not get pincered and they did not get trapped, they got out through this house. They're going to be incredibly handy now that there's a ram train in front of them. Getting those units out could be a game-saving move for the Viper. Those are going to help bolster this attack a lot. Castle up on the hill for Nicov in defense. Malay player has a bunch of Karambit warriors nearby. They are elite. And then there's a bunch of longbows nearby, which are also elite. Viper will spam mostly trash to the other side of the map. Hazar heading in to take on MBL's push. MBL's done a lot of damage to Jordan's base front, but Jordan is on 120 Vils. So Jordan has a decent eco, though he has also lost a TC, much like Nicov, and has lost several villagers. So an interesting game of push and pull. Right now, Aftermath is pushing on the top of the map, but one wonders how long that will last. This engagement could dwindle these Janny numbers down a bit. We'll see. Elite skirmishers behind it from Jordan could help out a lot, and I think MBL is up the creek here without a paddle. He's 1.5 v1, and these units do a decent job to get in. MBL adding in some Hazard just at the last moment here. That could swing the battle. Wish he had a few more of those for his sake. But I think he's going to get pushed back as the Rams start knocking down his trebs. Tatoh is going Goldshaft, Husbandry, Plate Barding. Tatoh is going to start adding in some cavalry, I suppose. But maybe the bigger announcement to make is that Nicov lost another TC on the front and is down to 85 Vils. So damage has been done on all sides here, but if you just look at the villager numbers for the Tyrant team and you look at the trade, they seem to be in a really, really dominant position. No trade really exists for the Aftermath team. 5 carts in total, and those carts are waiting, I believe. There's no markets up on the far corner here. So there's no trade for Aftermath. The clock is absolutely ticking when you don't have trade. You're running out of mineable gold at this point in the game. We can see that there are 10 gold miners for Heart, for instance. That's not going to get the job done in the Imperial Age. MBL is still on 18, so he's got a little gold to work with, but Nicov on 12 as well. And the push from MBL is slowing to a crawl. He's going to have to go back and try to hold this hill and hope that he can hold out a bit longer. Karambit Warriors going to see if they can turn this game around from Teal. Nicov running in, and we'll see if Tatoh can defend this. Those units are headed straight for the trade, and we'll find out. How y'all doing over here? Smarthy #1 fan. Nice name. The #1 fan of Smarthy. I thought I was the #1 fan of Smarthy, but yeah, okay. You know, I'll give it to you. You got the name. You got it fair and square. Just a few Karambit into this eco from Nicov, and they are actually going to try to mop up some villagers. The rest of his units are headed to the left of the map to help bolster MBL's side. MBL is kind of mission critical at this point. He did some damage to Tyrant Jordan, but Imperial Camel is in. Elite skirmishers are in. Lots of Camel archers are in, and there's nothing that MBL can do on his own. He needs his teammate, and we will see Karambit spamming across the map. Viper is picking away at these units with Hazar as they move across the map, which is an interesting thing to keep a note on. But they are absolutely spamming. I mean, look at how many units. These are all coming freshly built. You all know how fast these damn things produce. Viper dropping another castle on the front. The Karambit spam seems to be the only positive possibility for Aftermath to get back into this game. There are some into the eco, or into the trade lines, rather. There are some ready to bolster this flank versus Imperial Camels and Elite Skirms. And we will see if they can take the wind out of the sails of Jordan's push. We will see. It's definitely a subjective thing. Used to study the same line of work as Killer B. Yeah, man. Come back to us. You're doing civil engineering. Yeah, you just started. Goldstone just started the first day of the rest of his life. Anyway, Karambit's still doing damage inside of this eco, inside of this trade. Trade lines are starting to get established for the Aftermath team. A huge bit of wall here that really does not protect a lot of the map, but will protect the trade line. So Aftermath trying to protect trade that they are going to build soon. 24 total trade cards for the Aftermath crew, and probably somewhere around 70 or 80 for Tyrant. Chautauqua on the way for Jordan. I know what that one is. That is an upgrade to hand cannons. So we will see potentially some hand cannons coming from Jordan. We can already see them coming out. Chautauqua. I think it gives him +1 range. Anyway, those hand cannons will start to multiply, and they are a great unit to mop up melee infantry units, such as the Karambit. Viper is over here with a full force of elite camel archers, and while we have a brief moment in the game, I think it's worth noting that there's a 3.8k score lead for the Tyrant team. So if they can mop up... Oh, Bowyer as well for Tatoh. If they can mop up this Karambit spam, I just don't think that... I don't think that Aftermath is going to hold out a whole lot longer. They have one more army here that can try to make some sort of a push or some sort of a good, effective trade, but they are just not going to get a win at the rate that we're going. I think it's a day late and 50 cents short at the moment for the Aftermath crew. Slow this one down just a tad. Seems to be a bit bumpy. Tato's Bowyer not really getting the job done. Elite is on the way. He's also got Siege Onager to go along with it. His push on Nicov did some damage, but Nicov is reboomed up to 96 Vils. Nicov continuing to send everything he has across the map. So Tatoh is just basically trying to keep Nicov honest on his side. You have to keep your opponent defending their base somewhat, especially when they're sending their entire flank on the right side is sending all of its units to the left side. When that happens, I feel like you have an opening if you're Tatoh. Did you also start the first day of the rest of your life? If we can't be our own #1 fans, who's going to be #1 for us? Ah, damn. Halfway through Chalmers, found out yesterday that I completed my exam. Booyah! Let me work on Python. Anyway, for the moment, we have a game that's still going. Imperial Age is in for everybody. Trade is going pretty heftily for the Tyrant crew. But Nikov's got some gold in the bank. Jordan Hart has a bunch of gold in the bank. Hart's the one who's kind of trading the most on the Aftermath team. MBL is really scraping by. Unfortunately for him, he's got 15 trade cards out now, but he has no gold in his coffers, which is a tricky position for him. Hand cannons still rolling down this hill. We will soon have some siege coming in from Tatoh. Siege Onager shots could really devastate armies like this from the purple player MBL. Excuse me. Viper and Tatoh control the entire middle of the map. And I think it's just a matter of time until this game is GG. I just don't really see a whole lot of opportunity for this one to swing back in the other direction. But there's still a massive army here that has a lot to do. They really have some work ahead of them. Siege Onager shots need to basically not hit anything. They need to whiff at air for a little while. Tatoh needs to forget to micro those units altogether. If the purple player is going to have a chance. Couple Hussar running in here did get in some good damage, but MBL's still waiting with the bulk of this army. The Karambits, in the meantime, well, they seem to have gone away. I don't know where they're at. Yeah, they're defending the middle of the map versus the Viper's push. Viper and Tatoh are trying to push in the middle of the map now. They're trying to get through this last castle, I suppose. They are taking away a gold pile here from Nicov, which has to feel good. Decent Onager shot there on top of that group. And for the moment, this is an area that is pretty hotly contested. In the meantime, top of the map, Viper and Jordan still pushing. Slowly grinding this area down. Siege Onager shots from a distance would absolutely devastate these Jannies, and MBL's keeping them as far away as he can. Sending in big groups of Hussar to take down those Siege Onagers. Trying to keep his chances afloat. Viper will run in now with the Camel Archers. It looks like about, I don't know, 20 of them right into the middle of this trade. And boy, can he do some damage right here. You can just kill villagers and or trade cards for days, man. This is really going to hurt Nicov. Nicov just got up above 100 villagers, and he's just about to go down to, I don't know, 70. Certainly going to lose a lot here. A lot of trade influence. You can see these trade cards full of gold. They are not going to make it to Xanadu. And that is going to be really expensive. Karambit on the way over to try to deal with this. In the meantime, Viper pushing on the other side with Camel Archers, trying to put damage down on MBL. Not able to sneak in through the back door. Jordan's still massing up on top of the hill. So the Tyrant team controls about 3/4 of the map. They do seem to be grinding this one down to a pretty natural conclusion. But we have not seen the GG yet from Aftermath. And we will continue to watch. Nicov at 130 pop, 100 vills. Yeah, Nicov, unfortunately, since you said that, has lost 21 villagers. He does clean up the camel archers with Karambit, but it's not going so amazing for him. Seems to be a lot of lag in the game. We're already below 50%, and it seems like we keep bumping up against real time. So these players don't seem to have a good connection to each other. But yeah, let's look at the trade. Aftermath has 50, let's call it 60, 70 carts, and the Tyrant team is on 140, I believe. So about double the trade advantage. Something has to happen positively for MBL's side, I suppose. Still a couple camel archers on the hill. Little siege here from Tatoh to tank some damage, and a whole bunch of Imperial camels rolling down this hill. MBL is going back. He is putting down some really good damage as he does so. But this push has fizzled out, so his chances of taking back this hill on the front are not alive anymore. He's going to have to return another day and try again. In the meantime, all three of the Tyrants are here. Camel Archers, Bowyer, and Imperial Camel, and Siege Ram trying to come into this area. We do have a big group of Karambit defending this. Those Karambit, of course, do not have a whole lot of HP. They don't have a whole lot of armor. Bowyer will do really nicely against them in good numbers, but they are still, they're so cheap. Just mass the absolute hell out of them. It's really hard to finish off a Malay opponent like this. The elite longbows are putting down a lot of damage behind this meat shield, but that meat shield is dead, and the rams are soon going to make this castle a thing of the past. So I think the Tyrants have got this one tied up, boys. I think they've had it tied up for a little while. The scores would suggest that they are 5.5k ahead, and the GG would suggest that the game is over. So we will see GG coming in from everybody. Everyone will resign out. And we'll quickly look at the achievements. Game 1 here, going to the Tyrant squad. Hopefully we get another. Let's just quickly look through here, and we can drop down a scoreboard and jump into the next game. I feel like that was going to be a hard